All right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. All
Okay,
right, all right, all right.
that's not what I want. Okay, there's an echo in there. As I have the live stream open. Steve! Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, my brother? What's going on, man? In fact, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but, you know, how is it described when you have like a word that is a placeholder? Some people will say um or ah. I say man a lot. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, right? And so, speaking of man, there's Mr. Man in the comments section. What's up, man? How's it going? You see, I just did it again. I just did it again. That was not intentional. In high school, my friends used to say it was one of my favorite words. So big shout out to Mr. Man, as a few of you guys are tuning in here, right? So I hope everyone is doing all right. I hope everyone is having a good day. It's time to get this Q&A off to a good start. Interesting that I've restored. Okay, there we go. Restore. How are you guys doing on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? For me, as you guys know, I'm on the East Coast, so it is 5 p.m. Right, 5 p.m. We're doing the live stream a little on the earlier side today because I do have some things planned that I want to go over on the DAS platform a little later, right? So I wanted to start the Q&A early just to kind of get things going and remind ourselves of what our goal is coming into the new week. I saw Ross was on earlier. He'd mentioned a few continuation stocks, of course. You know, uh, G. What was the stock yesterday? GCT, I think. Let's go over here to E Trade. If it'll come up. Why is it not coming up? Hold on. Okay. Well, that's odd. Did it not load properly? Wow. 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 Do I have to sign back in? Well, maybe I need to close it out. Hmm. Yeah, it's like not working properly. I'm clicking on the tabs over. I'll close it out. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a quick sec. Well, let's just do it this way. If that doesn't work, I'll go into Task Manager and close it out. But anyhows, GCT. Right. Okay. There we go. GCT in the comments. There we go. Yeah, this thing. Friday I could have traded this stock like aggressively. I could have watched the first halt resumption, which I didn't. At least not on the level two. I don't think. I could have watched the second resumption for trades. You guys know I like trading halted stocks. The issue that I had with this stock, and it's similar, if we go to trade review, the red days that I had, right? So these two red days could have been avoided. Thursday of last week was a little bit more tricky because I, decided I wanted to take on a crazy amount of risk. Right, these 2 days here, I took on some extraordinary risk, more so than usual. It resulted into me having a drop off on the day. Okay, fine. Right, so we kind of changed what was working, trying to be more aggressive. It wasn't a natural progression. We just upped the size and got really aggressive in crazy areas. These two red days is me not being in the right place, especially this one. We talk about a bigger loss. Stock NU was moving up, and this thing gave a 60-cent move, high float. I bought it up high, missing the bulk of the move. You could in some ways say I even chased it, even though it might not have been intentionally, right? But what should I have been watching on this day was BBBY and watching BBBY for scalps. I took a loss here trying to buy a dip, giving the dip a little too much room, and likewise right here. So the key thing is to be in the right place, and not just to choose the right stock, but also watch the right setups because you know if a stock is just making new highs with green candles and you're short, obviously you're in the right place, but you're not looking at the right setups. So this new week, I got to do a really good job determining the gap and go and which stock is going to be the obvious stock to start the day. Because in the first 5 minutes, we can go back to some of these green days. It's like in the first 5 minutes, we're seeing a lot of green, you know, in the first couple of minutes starting the day. Well, maybe not this day. This day looks like we got green until 4 p.m. Well, not 4 p.m. 1400, which is 2 p.m. Oh, that day is, you know, a little bit. It probably will be better to just go into the overview here. Let's see. By the way, we'll talk about me not retaining earnings. That's something I want to get a little bit of a touch on. But yeah, days and time, you know, performance by time of day. The first hour, 9:30 to 10. That first 30 minutes is where I'm doing my best. And in fact, this month I've been doing absolutely atrocious between 10 and 11, which is just absolutely. This doesn't really happen to me. In fact, this is the first month ever, and it's been such a good month that this has happened where I'm actually losing money in the first 2 hours. So, I mean, you know, week one is definitely a testament to it because week one, I think, is where we lost the bulk. Let's see, 1200. Well, no, not quite. I don't know. It's just been weird to see that I'm losing money, losing so much money in between that time frame. Hold on, let's see here. Let's get this in. Look at that again. 16. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you know, week one kind of just was a little tough, but you know, regardless, we need to be making money during this time of this prime time. Steve, yeah, it's been a good month, but you know, we got to work on some stuff, and so I mentioned, you know, retaining gains. This is just week one. This is just the first week of August, and I've made 17,000. No, well, let's round that up, 18,000. But I've only walked away with 4,000 of that, and I can feel it now more than ever. Like there'll be a day I'll start. I'll get some great trades going up. I'll be up 800, 1,000, and then before you know it, I'm only up 300, 400. You know, I've already given back half. Maybe I make another 200, and then I maybe lose it back. And so when we look at charting, right? I mean, we can look at some of the stocks that we traded over the last couple of days. They kind of talk about where I'm giving back profits and some of the things I have to improve on. So let's see. VLCN, APDN, PETZ. I mean, the last couple of days haven't been the best. BWV, that one was good. I actually want my E-Trade charting. I'll exit this. I'll have to log back in. Let me pull it up. Where are we? E-Trade, come here. Come to me. Can I spell today? Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. There it is. Yeah, so I'll sign in and we'll take a look at BWV because this is another stock where I gave back a lot of profits on. So I'll go to white screen. Hold on, I'll be back in a sec. Give me a quick sec here. It seems like E-Trade is having some trouble. Okay, there we go. It took a while. It's funny because I had it open, then I closed it out earlier. When I signed back in, it just never loaded up properly. Are we good? Okay. Sorry about that. Gotta be careful. This is sometimes the issue with YouTube. You know, it's like, I mean, that's, you know, simply going off screen to sign in, but you know, YouTube, you gotta watch out, right? Can't get leaked. Where are you from originally? My man, Relentless. No other way. Yeah, I'm from South America. I am from Guyana. Guyana. Not Ghana, which is in Africa, but Guyana, because people confuse the two. LMD. What's going on, man? Yeah, so let's take a look at BWV. Especially with a day where there's follow through, I think it's worth looking at a little bit more because we'll see the progression of how the stock is really moving. On a day like this, right? This thing goes from a low of 259 to a high of $8. Pretty impressive. So how do we manage to give back profits on a stock like this? Okay, pre-market, it wasn't that crazy, so we're not gonna really look at pre-market, but still, into the open. This exactly here is where we're seeing the bulk of our gains, right? In the first 5 minutes. So in the first 5 minutes, this thing goes, first 3 minutes really, it goes from a low of 350 to a high of 479. Stocks are extremely volatile in the first few minutes of the open, right? Which is why we tell people you don't really need to trade the entire day. You can trade the first 30 minutes, the first hour, right? Usually the first hour and the last hour are the most volatile. But that's not to say that there's not a lot of opportunities in between. So I've been doing a good job getting green. Although, this week I have been using much less shares. We can take a look at that. Let's pull up Trader View here. Let's look at week 1. So 1st to the 5th, we did average volume around 289,000 shares. And remind you guys, my goal was to get to 500,000. We did not do well in that aspect, right? I'm pretty sure volume had decreased. So let's go from the 8th to the 12th. Where are we at exactly? We increased. Okay, good. This is a step in the right direction. Now, this week that just ended, I'm pretty sure it's down drastically. Let's see. So from the 15th to the 19th, how did we do? You see, yep. No good. No good, man. No good. No good. Absolutely awful. It shows. It definitely shows. It shows. 992. Week 1. Let me double check that again. 800. Share size matters, right? And I could have done so much better on these particular days. Hold on, let's get this back up here. I could have done so much better on these green days. Okay, even if the red days might have been a little bit bigger. Okay, fine. But there's trades on these days where I'm taking 100 shares starter on the stocks, when on those same stocks the week before I was taking 2,500 share starter. You know what I'm saying? So there's a problem there, and I sometimes do myself a disservice. I feel like having a red day like this means absolutely nothing. It's water under the bridge even before it comes. Even at the end of Monday, before I even know tomorrow the next day is gonna be red, this means nothing. This absolutely means nothing. And so I have to remember to not ever slow down. Slowing down does not make sense right now, right? Unless I'm red 5 days. If I'm red more than 3 days, then we kind of have a. If I'm red 2-3 days straight, 4 days, okay, then it's okay, you know. But one day literally means nothing. And I think I had a headache or something on Thursday, but still, it's using bigger size. These days would have definitely been 1K days. And the thing is that when you start very green, you start to have a confidence. And, we talk about energy and those type of things with trading. You have a good energy. You can watch the market. And not be frustrated, because that's a big thing, being frustrated. But yeah, if you're red, Steven, if you are red 5 days, that's where we slow it down, make sure that everything is good, and then from there we move forward again, right? Let's look at this on a broader scale. I know I'm kind of a little all over the place. I'll get back to BWV, but you'll see, the first 2 months I'm literally flat, and there's much more red days closer together, right? A lot more. And if we go back to 2020, let's see how many times I've had it. We'll come to October rather. Let's see, June. And you know what's crazy, Steve? Look at this. 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. June. And then look at June 9th. I remember this. Look at June 9th, right? So, red, 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 red. Biggest green day ever. 2200. And, it's like the red days is like water under the bridge now. You're back at all. So, this is exactly why we have to stay optimistic and stay dialed in because it's like we never know what that next day has in store for us. And back in these days, especially, like now we're seeing the bigger green days much more often, using more size. This was done with 500 shares. I mean, just absolute madness. Um, but yeah, so keep the faith, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Keep the faith. October month, 2020. You know, this is me. This is nobody else but me. 450, 550, 1K, 508, 468. Taking days off, trying to catch myself taking days off. So, keep the faith, man. Keep the faith. We'll get back to BWV here. Uh, the wash sale rule only really applies when you're trying to make money, when you're trying to get money back from your taxes after a loss. So, if you're green, it really doesn't apply, to my understanding of the wash sale rules. If I'm not, make sure to to correct me, let me know. Seven, by the way, 777, man. I saw there was a comment. Um, and you guys were talking in the live stream, but it was at the end of the stream, and I didn't realize. But you had some doubts as if I was a real trader or not. I'm here to tell you, man, to reassure you that I'm as real as can be. I am trading live. When I was in the simulator, because I was at one point, right? I was transparent about that, and I'm proud of the simulator. That's where I learned how to trade. I started with real money on E-Trade, lost for about a year, losing 4K out of my $14,000 account, trading once, 3 times rather, every 5 days. Got hit with a PDT. Long story short, went to the sim for a year and a half, and then went live May 1st of 2020. Now, if we look at my trader view, I'll have a few trades before May 1st because when I'm in the sim, well, not the sim, but well, I guess I was in the sim, but as I'm in the sim, I'm building my account at Thinkorswim. I didn't transport the 25,000 in lump sum. It was like 5K, then 8, and then like another 2, and like 4, or something like that. And then we eventually got up to 25K. So along that time, we've got some green trades. Not all of them were big. 9, 30, 75, 41. These two are much better. So I did take some trades in my Thinkorswim account whilst I was in the sim. Um, and that's why we have, before May 1st. May 1st was Friday. I don't know what happened on Friday. Maybe it was May, I don't know, something like that. But yeah. So, if you look at my Thinkorswim, I mean, if am I on single screen, like you'll see, my account right here is not in orange. Like usually there's a big orange or yellow tab at the top left hand corner that says simulated trading. Yeah, so let's get back to BWV, and I'll take a quick look at some of those questions that are coming in. So E-Trade, so getting green in the first 3 candles, but then having issues with the chop, right? So what we've learned that we have to do is size down, and in fact avoid taking trades if possible, because how likely is it that the second leg of the move is going to happen after the first 1 minute candle that goes red and then makes a new high? Can the first 1 minute candle to make a new high give you an entry that is green? The answer is yes. But, and this is what I'm talking about here. So we have our bull flag, right? We have our bull flag right here. Let me enlarge this a little bit. We have our bull flag. Let's see, we'll put this in yellow. We have our bull flag. We're coming up. We pull back. can we make the next leg of the move, right? That's what this is all about right here. So we had a high of 445, right? So we dipped down to a low of 423, 20 cents, and this is where we have to attack the dips like there's no tomorrow. Especially once we we pull back, right? So okay, we're going up. This candle right here is a little bit weak, right? This first doji candle is a little weak, so we want to give the stock time. Okay, where's our bottom going to be, right? So we pull back to a low of 22. Once we curl up, because what happens here is we come down, we then break over 45, make a new high here of 57, right? Not a high of day, but we broke over 45 to a high 57. Hence why there is an entry right here from 45 to 57. It's not bad, right? What is that, 12 cents if my math is like any good? So there's like 12, 13 cents there, right, for that particular trade. But we can't expect this trade to go back and make a new high. It's more than likely not gonna happen. It's gonna stall out somewhere in here, and then sell off, come back down. Man, this drawing tool, yeah. So the key thing is that I'm noticing is that if we can do a good job, right? Not this one didn't hold up very well, but a lot of times we're seeing stocks come back down and then start a consolidation here, right? And this is not a bad area. So we did break down the lows though of 22. We came down to, let's see, 23 and then 15. I mean, 15 is pretty reasonable from 22, right? We're still in this trade right here. That's not even more. What's that like? It's not even more than 10 cents. So we're definitely still in this trade. We have a low of 14, and this right here, like I watched Crispy's video that he posted, in terms of things that he's looking at as well. And one of the things I wrote down here on my sticky pad is to hold the 1 minute pullback longer, right? I said that at the beginning of every like we talk about the opening statements. During the opening statements of the live stream, I said that every single day throughout the week. On the 1 minute dips, be willing to hold a little longer. So what that means is that this is the first dip, right? This here is the first dip. We don't have a bottom yet, so we're waiting for the bottom, right? And this is the thing. Once we get this low, once this comes back down, because we dip and then we go up. Once this comes back down, we're now in the second dip. So I should be buying anywhere in here. I should be buying, right? I should be buying. I should be buying. I should be long at like 18 and 19, 20, giving this thing a stop down at like 405, risking like 15 cents because high of day is at 80. To risk 15 cents to make what 50 plus cents in the trade is a great risk to reward ratio. And that's what we're looking at here, the risk to reward ratio. So if I'm buying this dip, and the thing that I'll be doing going into this next week is that I'll be buying the dip aggressively. I'm going to write it in bold, even if I have to paste it onto my forehead and trade. That's what I'm doing. So when we come down here to 18, I want to take 2,500 shares. And if I do end up losing that 5 to 8 cents or 10 cents, that's okay. If I do lose 250, it's okay. But when we go from 20 back up to this high here of 57, that's where the money will be made. That is exactly where the money will be made. We'll be coming out of the trade with $650, $700 on just this one dip. This is not to include the scalping up that I'm doing in these candles here, right? I keep clicking this line, but anyhow, that's not to include any of the scalps that we're doing. So before we even get to this dip, I should already be something in the green, something, even if it's a little bit, even if it's just 100, 2, 3, 4, whatever it might be, 6. So once we get to this pullback, and even if I'm not green here, I got to keep in mind to still take this dip with big size, because what I've been doing, I've been taking 500 shares here. I've been adding about 2,500 shares, let's say for the 1 minute candle to make the new high at 45. And when I add 2,500 shares or 2,000 shares, let's say, yeah, more like 2,000 shares, right? Let's say I'm in at 520. I'm adding 2,000 at 45 or 43 because now I'm trying to watch for the 1 minute candle to make the new high. But when I add that aggressively, I'm adding at what? you know, a 300% rate, my average cost goes from 20 now to like 39, let's say 41, or maybe let's say 41. And I'm in the trade, for the ad at 45. What happens if the stock is just a little choppy right here and it drops to 38? I start panicking out of the trade. So it's absolutely terrible trading. What I either need to do is just let the 500 shares run, or what I need to be doing, which I think I should be doing, is taking the 2,000 shares here and adding 500 up above. Now, the reason why it's been like that is because I'm comfortable with scalping. This trade is a scalp trade. At the dips, I've been very subpar with size. So I'm going to change my Thinkorswim settings again, and it's going to be an attempt to force myself to take the dip with size. Take the dip with size. What do we have to lose? I'm going to come to those questions right now. What do we have to lose? What do we really have to lose? When we look back at our charting, for the month, it's such a great month. Even if I don't make any more money for the rest of this entire month, what are the odds of that happening anyways? But let's say I don't. Let's say I just break even. It's like, what do I really have to lose? It's been a solid month to this point, right? It's been a solid month. We're right at 10K. And so this change is going to be a positive change from everything that I know to this point. So it'll only bring about bigger green, and it will result in less choppy trades, less scratch trades as the move is trying to prove itself. Because right here, if this does go to high of day, great. But, from 20 to 58, that's all we really need. 18 cents. 18 cents, 2,500 shares. We can do the math here on we can pull up the calculator here. 2,500 times 0.18, right? 450. 450, and usually my stop is 1 penny below that 10-cent increment. So if I'm in this at 420, my stop is about 11 cents, right? 409. But depending on how the stock comes down, and each stock has its own personality, I'll use my best discretion to try to get that good entry. Can I be in this thing at 17? Can I be in at 15? We saw some lows here. What was that? 15, 19, 14. And this was on, what day was this? Let's see. This was on the 17th. So this was on the 17th at 9:30, 9:35 on the 17th. Let's go take a look. On the 17th, 9:35. This is a problem. Where are we? 10. A lot of trades. 9:34. Let's see. 33. Is this on the way up? 33. 35. In 35. You see, and this is exactly the problem, right? Where are the dips? Where are the dips? Where are the dips? Where are the dips? Losing trade on the scalp here. Losing trade. Losing trade. In at 37. Out at 28. Losing trade. In at 38. Well, one small winning trade. But we literally do not see the dips at that time frame. It looks like we switched away to EAR. But still, we need to have that focus in there, man. That way we can really get the good entries and dominate. Trading is not easy, but it's like also not rocket science. Like it's hard, but we can all sit here and say that we see what I'm talking about, right? If somebody tries to show me rocket science right now, more than likely say I have no idea what the heck they're talking. You know, it's like when someone is like doing something completely different from what we have ever seen, right? And so for those people who are not profitable, like I have a question, right? Like for the people who are not profitable, what type of style are you guys trading? You know, I've always wondered like what type of strategy some of you guys are trading, because I know a lot of you guys who are here in the community, you don't necessarily trade like I do, right? There's people who you know, whether green or red. I mean, there's a bunch of different other like strategies that people are trading. But for those of you who are not profitable, do you guys see what I see? And if you do you think it makes sense to try it, right? So it's like this stuff, man. It's and this is why if anybody, you know, like I spoke to Farmer today. We did a video together, right? And you know, one of the questions is kind of like an interview, you know, podcast style type of video that we did. He'll release that soon. It'll be out on his channel. You know, it's like, would you recommend day trading to anyone, right? Would you say day trading is a field people should look into? And it's like, for me, the answer is yes, because you know, if you don't mind a little risk, and you can be a good manager and you're disciplined, you know, like this is here for the taking, man. This stuff is really here for the taking. You know, it's kind of crazy. Kimberly, same strategy as Ross. And you know, I guess I trade the same strategy as Ross too, but it's like some type of variation. You know, we're all kind of trading like a variation of Ross. For those of us who are like watching Ross and like learned a little bit from him. But I noticed Ross today, and I'll pull up his video on YouTube, right? I want to show something. He showed his trader view, and let's pull on Ross. Hold on, Warrior Trading. He showed his trader view, and I was watching at the amount of trades he took. Is my volume muted? No, let's mute this. If not, we'll get copyright. Yeah, I just want to look at his volume here, right? Let me pull this up. Well, volume, or not really volume, but the amount of trades that he took on the month, right? Like, look at this. Ross took. By the way, don't let me forget. Hit that thumbs up button, right? Whether it's my video, Ross's, or anyone else, hit that thumbs up button. Ross took 490 trades, right? 490 trades. This number right here equated to $130,000 in gains, gross, right? Look at how many trades I took on the month. Look at this. Well, detail rather. I, for the month, took 4 times as many trades as Ross. You know, 4 times as many trades as Ross. Am I trading Ross's strategy, really? You know what I'm saying? This at this point, this might as well be a whole different strategy. You know, so it's similar but yet very different, and it's why I'm really thinking, like, I'm like right now I'm thinking about what I'm doing, and I don't like what I'm doing. Like, it's great that I'm green, like it's great, but I don't like what I'm doing. Earlier I mentioned I was going to talk a little bit about retaining earnings. I mean, look at this. You know, I've made 50,000 on the month, and you know, it's like this is awful. This is awful right here. I'm retaining, you know, 20% of the gains. It's atrocious. It shouldn't. It's not feasible. It's not sustainable. Well, it is sustainable. Let's say not with commissions. So I want to give myself a hard time, right? Because I know that I could be better. There's no reason that I should make 48,000 and not at least be up 25,000 on the month. You know what I'm saying? So there is change that needs to be implemented, right? Like, and you know, this is great. This is not bad, but it's also not the end goal. And so one thing I've known about trading is that you have to continue tweaking, even if it makes, even if it's a tweak that doesn't work, which is exactly what these 2 days were. because I took on a crazy amount of risk on these 2 days, and I fell off from what I was doing. And you could, if you guys go back and watch those days, like that decision came. Like I was already big green on those days, and it's like, hey, let's just size up like crazy and see how it goes. Like that's not what I was doing, and so that was me trying to see if that was the way to get bigger green. You know, that's not the way to do it. That was me forcing it. I feel, and so the right way is to look at the charting, to look at the bigger picture. Can you buy big sizing on the low? Can you hold a little bit longer? Can you give the stock at least, let's say a minute to actually make that new high and pull away, you know? Right here, this is terrible because we would like to think that this dip would have worked, but it didn't. But that's why we have our stop in place. So high of day was at 479 coming across. We ripped through 479 on this, so it gave a bit of an ABCD. For those of you familiar with the ABCD, it's a bit of a W in the English alphabet. That's how it looks to me. Some people will write A up here and then B, and then I don't really look into doing all that, but for me, that's just how I look at it. It's nothing more than a W. I don't need to put A, B, C, D, E, F, and none of that. But we have this bull flag. This bull flag essentially failed because it didn't hold the lows. It breaks down. It breaks down. And this white line, this white line. Where's this white line coming from? We can go back and check. But anyhow, it does hold this area here, right? That's what I'm trying to really get to. It does hold this area, and so it does this W, right? You guys see this small W that's in there, right? So it pulls back. There's this high point right here, this pivot, drops down, double bottoms, and then curls back up. So when I look at this W, when the bull flag is failing right here on this leg down, there is no trades for me, right? Now, if there's a specific area that you're watching here, like for example, this comes into the 21 moving average, the initial high of day level was at 391. We had a low of 393. So if we're to put a trend line from this candle coming across, we can say we held this area here. If you're watching that, maybe you could take this dip. One of the good things for the candle is that it has this bottoming wick right here, right? But it's usually hard for me to determine this to be a good entry. So I usually will watch two areas. The double bottom, so once this comes back to 93 over here, right? We had a low of 95 this time right here, right? 95. I'll either be getting in there or at the pivot, which in this case was a high of 435 coming across, right? So as the stock comes back to the same level over here, I'll be getting in. But even that in itself is kind of risky because the ABCD isn't the only pattern going on. Like, I'll take 35 most days here if the ABCD is the pattern, but this is a failed bull flag coming into an ABCD, so it's hard to take 35 knowing that there's this previous history over here, and 35 could be an area of resistance that we had earlier. So this does flag nicely, right? And this area here, I think if I do give back profits, is the only area where it's all right, because here I'm thinking we're having another leg like we had to start the day, which was this leg right here. Two green candles into a third that gave a good move, but then ended up pulling back. This is only going to give one green candle, and then it's going to topping wick. Can we at least see this candle be strong in the green? If this is a strong green candle right here, and then we get another candle to go up again, that's what the expectation was. But some people will say, hey, the second move isn't going to be as strong as the first move. But if I size up here thinking it's going to keep going and I give back something here, I think that's fine. But I can't afford to give back in this area here, which I've been doing. So don't expect the third candle to make the new high to go through high of day. Don't expect it until it happens, right? So small size for any scalps and bigger size. Right here is big size, big size, big size, big size. Big size on the dips, big size on the lows, small size on the highs for 1 minute candle to make the new high, small size. And then as this happens, big size again, I keep clicking the trend line and this is happening. Big size again, right? Big size over here. If I happen to get caught in this wick, that's the only place it's fine. But even at that time, if I do get caught, I should be giving back profits, not going into the red. I should be already up, 1,500 or something with the size the size I'm using. Maybe dropping down to like 500. Well, not 500, but let's say a $500 loss. Maybe going down to 1,000, and then we say, okay, let's ease off this thing. Maybe it's not holding up. So that is the game plan for tomorrow. Now for the questions, right? Time for the questions. I haven't really been looking at the questions. Let me see. The DAS. So my goal is to be using the DAS platform this upcoming week, and in fact, after this video, I'll be working on a few hotkeys, which I already have. I already have the scripts. It's a matter of I don't know if the Nasdaq test stock. Let me see. The Nasdaq test stock. What is it? ZY. Z. Oh jeez, I don't know why I keep doing that. I have like, I might be like dyslexic or something. ZYZZT. ZY. Oh jeez. ZVZZT. ZVZZT. Jeez, what is wrong with me? Okay, I think it's okay. This pre-market tomorrow, I'll be using this right here to test out my hotkeys. This is a test stock. I'm not sure who petitioned for it, but I'm glad that they did. This stock is like a artificial stock. I don't think commissions or anything like that is charged, and it's the perfect way to test out hotkeys, make sure everything is working well. So in pre-market tomorrow, I'll be firing off a bunch of hotkeys on this thing. I'll use small sizing. Just you can't ever be too safe. Although this is still a test stock. But anyhow, yeah, I'll make sure my hotkeys are working. Make sure everything is good, because my goal is to eventually get away from executions through Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's executions are not bad, but we need better hotkeys to be faster, right? DAS, using the DAS platform, the execution speed will still be the same because DAS is not a broker. DAS is an execution platform, so you can put DAS on eTrade Pro as well, right? But the orders will still be going through the broker that is tied to. And so I believe direct access routing platforms, I think, do not use DAS, because I think at that point, what's the point? They already have the same hotkeys and same functionality. But brokers like Thinkorswim, that's not really catering for fast-paced trading. The DAS platform is great because it helps you to be quicker, right? So by Monday, okay, we have a ton of questions. Okay, let's see. I gotta be quick. I'll do 20-second replies. So I have DAS connected to my Thinkorswim. Let's see, 777, Kimberly, you guys are talking a bit there. Commission free. Thinkorswim. Could I make more? Probably. Eventually. I declare bankruptcy. Sensei. There's a lot of conversation. I'm looking up to see. I know there's a bunch of questions too. I'm coming all the way back up here to see what I might have missed. Twin, look at Twin, man. Twin is such a big supporter of the channel. Can't listen in, maybe busy with work or with the family or something else, but still letting the video play on her phone for those views, man. Look at that, man. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. I haven't mentioned that all day yet. Hit that thumbs up button. Support the channel, right? Support the channel. Also, if I've missed your questions, put up, copy and paste it back down below. That way it's probably a little easier, right? Okay, CT had asked, how much did I start trading with? Once I came back to Thinkorswim, my account was over 25K, right? I had, I think, 27,000 or something like that to start with. and I started growing from there. If you're practicing trading above the PDT in the sim, it's better to start trading live above the PDT, right? If you're doing good in the sim, if you're seeing good progress, you're getting green, you're seeing good, improvements. You want to you want everything to be as similar as possible. In fact, I'd recommend using the same layouts, the same hotkeys, the same everything, right? The same everything. For me, like if I log out and log into my simulation account, you guys will see the screen as the same four chartings: 3 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute, daily chart, like the scans, like everything is the same. It's just that so that way when you switch to live, the transition is almost seamless. The only thing is maybe you have a little bit of, at times maybe you get the partial fills, because in the simulation you'll get filled instantly every time. But live, if you're on the bids and no one is coming down to sell to you, of course, you might not get a fill or you might get a partial fill. But other than that, other than the fills, there is no difference between the simulation and the live accounts. Like I had someone on Instagram tell me, hey, I'm about to go live. Um, I know it's going to be way different. What are some tips? And the first thing I said was that it's only going to be way different if you allow it to be. If you want it to be, then it will be. Because, it's like the people who are profitable, like I'm not going to lie, there's things that's going to bother us, yes. A red day might bother us a little bit or whatever it might be. But for the most part, as we're trading, it's like the money aspect of it is not really the focus. It's not that it's irrelevant, because it's not. There'll be things in place that has a dollar amount tied to it, maybe like a max loss, a daily goal, but the money isn't the focus. Like money itself is an artificial pressure. It's like if you're buying a stock at break of 5 in the sim and you're selling over, let's say you're buying break of 5 and you're selling for 10-15 cents of gains at 5.10, 5.15. You're hitting the same button to buy, the same button to sell, but you're telling me only because now you're using real money you can't do that? What is the difference of hitting buy at 5 and sell at 5.10? There is no difference unless you want there to be a difference. And I understand it's easier said than done. I don't want to oversimplify it, but that is the only, our mind will create that pressure for us. So you have to do a good job at not, creating that fear. So it's what you make it. You have to really have that confidence. Sammy, so the DAS platform, I pay a monthly fee of $150, and I think it's worth it. I've been using them for quotes for a while now, which is just the level 2. $150 a month does sound expensive when we think about Netflix and Disney Plus and other subscriptions like that. But at the end of the day, this is business, and $150 I'll gladly pay that a month. That's not a problem. Um, you know, that's like one small. In fact, on a lot of days, that's like one trade. With the size we're using, so it's not a huge problem. Um, there's some subscriptions out there that are pretty pricey. But $150 a month for a platform that's providing hotkeys, charting, quotes. I mean, everything else that it offers. It's not bad. So commissions are free though, because once again, the DAS platform is coming back to Thinkorswim, and Thinkorswim is free, right? If you guys need a good scanner, be sure to check out Mometic. I can post that link right now. And I am sponsored by Mometic, and that's the scanner I use every day. It's pretty good. I have some filters out there. It's this right here, right? Momo Pro, right? We got the gap scan. Of course, the markets are closed right now, but the stream, which is the high-low ticker, there's conditional alerts that you can set and personalize to your liking, along with halt scans and other stuff. So, you can build a watch list here. They're working on some charting if you're on the go and you kind of just want to keep an eye on things. But yeah, and maybe one day they're integrated with brokers like Thinkorswim. That way, if you click on a stock right here, it pulls it up on your Thinkorswim. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, check it out if you guys are interested, man. You guys can use code Relentless for 25% off for 6 months. For 6 months. Am I going to switch to Cobra trading or Lightspeed in the future? So I was thinking if I switch to a new platform for direct access routing and pay, with commissions, I'd probably do Cobra trading instead, because Cobra is known for having shares available to short stocks. And if I'm at a direct access routing platform, I might as well have shares available to short, because I do think at some point that's the next evolution in the process. As we continue to work and continue to get better with these dip trades, why not short? I have gum in my mouth, by the way. If you guys, I probably should take it out, but yeah, I probably should take it out. I have a garbage here. Hold on. Yeah, let's get rid of that gum. It's kind of messing me up. Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, so let's move on to the next question. I love that you guys are communicating and are talking. Yeah, I love that you guys are communicating and talking. I think it's good. The Discord has been very good. I'll definitely recommend you guys check out the Discord. The conversations in the Discord are pretty powerful, pretty cool, and so if you are looking to build connections in the trading world, right? Check it out, man. I mean, it's so amazing. We've come to know some really fine traders in the community, and every day we're gonna keep building, keep growing, keep learning, and keep networking, because there will be and this next weekend we'll probably do a virtual meetup, but for sure down the line we'll have in-person meetups as well, and it's gonna be crazy, man. 777, do not troll us, man. Do not troll us, man. There's no need for it. I'm the most transparent trader on YouTube. I'm more transparent than Ross himself. I'm the most transparent trader on YouTube. Hey, RT, why don't you stop trading once you've hit 1K? Okay, good question. Good question there. Why don't I stop when I'm up 1K on the day? Great question. So, the way how I look at stocks, we just had a conversation not so long ago that the dollar amount isn't really always the focus. And the dollar amount for me is not the focus, right? In fact, I don't look at my P&L during the trades. At times, maybe random times, I might check it out to see what the result of a trade was, but there's a lot of stocks that are just constant, and there might be a sequence of like 5 to 10 trades, or maybe more, before I even look at my P&L, or maybe there's a sequence and then another stock hits. I switch to that stock. I never had a chance to look at my P&L. A lot of times I don't even know that I'm up these amounts, to be honest. Like, sometimes I will, sometimes I will not. And you guys will probably hear me saying in the stream, maybe I was up like 500 there before I gave something back off the top, but the way how I look at these stocks, the momentum dictates, right? And there is an exception. The momentum dictates how long I trade, unless I'm going sideways for a long point or I'm going red. And I want to see a stock through and through, right? To this point, there's nothing that's telling me that I can't be green if a stock continues to make a move higher. And so if a stock like BWV is giving follow through, the question for me is, why not keep trading? On the days where we have those big green days, like bigger than let's say 1,500, 2K, 2,500, 3K plus, we would never have known if we could have gotten to those numbers if we would have stopped at that $500 mark. $800 mark, 1K mark. So I like to trade what's in front of me. As you guys might be hearing my brothers going crazy, I like to trade what the market is telling me. And if I'm green 1K here, and then this is happening, and it's giving this bigger move here, what's stopping me from trying to make another 1K or 3, 4, 5, 6K more, right? So that's my approach, right? Once again, unless I start to give back too much or I start to go sideways for too long, then it's like, okay, I'm not getting to connect. So I trade the momentum, and once the stock is on the backside, that's where I stop, even if sometimes it might mean giving back profits. So the goal is to, be as to be as disciplined as possible, and to manage risk as best as I can, so that I can avoid the losses, because a lot of the losses are on my side. Things that I'm doing poorly, selling too fast, not giving the stock a chance. All these things add up, and it's not really on the side of the market. It's me. When the market is going to give a stock that goes from 2 to 8, so we got to be able to decipher whether it's us or the market. And so a lot of the times I'm giving back profits is silly trades. Like I said, I looked at this entire charting, and I feel like I shouldn't have really given back a lot of profits unless I gotten caught buying very aggressively here, and then it went down, because this is an area I should be buying aggressively. These big green candles, I should be buying aggressively. But once we start to see the chop, ease off on the high of day scalps with size. Buy the pullback, sell higher. If we buy the pullback with size and it goes lower, then that's also fine. So it's fine to lose as long as I'm losing correctly. That's not a problem. Kimberly, take it easy. Stay safe, stay green. We appreciate you. We appreciated having you here. Have a good one, right? Enjoy the rest of your day. Jason, what's going on? My nose is so stuffy right now. I have no paper towel here. Jeez Louise, I've been eating so many tangerines. It's like these oranges and tangerines does nothing for me at this point. I'm convinced that it's a hosk, and I don't know, because I've been eating these things. I've been eating vitamins even years consistently for weeks, months. Nothing. The common cold, it's just it won't leave me alone. Ross shows his broker statements. I still am more transparent than Ross. Believe me, man. I had a video where I showed my account number, and all the cash balance in my account. That video is no longer on YouTube, but I did that before. So not even Ross would be that foolish, right? That's how crazy I was to even show, the OG traders that were here from the old house. Those guys might remember that video. It was like 27K account challenge starting tomorrow, and we had the Eye of the Tiger playing in the background. Dun, dun, dun. One more question. It seems you got burned right as you started getting aggressive, or as you start getting aggressive. Do you think you're getting aggressive too late or too early? So, great question there. And this is definitely, an example of the 2 days that I've showed here, which was Thursday and Friday of last week. So, if I'm to give an answer, I'd say too late, right? Too late. A stock would give a big move, and I would think, okay, we're going to see continuation. Let me size up to 5,000 shares and see if this thing can't keep going. By the time I size up to 5,000, those trades are now losing trades because the stock is extended, and using twice the size, it only takes half the amount of trades to give back everything you just made. And so it's also why I mention I need to be aggressive earlier, buying the dip, right? The incline, I have there's almost like two different type of trading here. In these green candles is scalping only. I won't be buying any real dips. Micro dips, okay, yeah, but nothing crazy in terms of holding for longer. But here, when we start to consolidate on the flag, buying the low of the flag aggressively with size and having a tight stop, and then looking for that pop back up, right? Right here we had a low of 22. So we had a low of 28 initially, then a low of 22, and from that low of 22 we had a high of 57. That wasn't bad. Then we came down, we made new lows of 15, 14, double bottom. From that low of 14, we made a high of 54. So those two dips right there were exceptional, very exceptional dip trades. 35, 20. I mean, and this wasn't bad. Even the pivot here from 35, we pulled back to we had a high of 47, and we pulled back to a low of 28 before this broke out and went crazy. So, just trusting the charting and trusting volume. Volume profile is very impressive right here. So, trust the charting. It's like more so than anything, you just trust the charting and allow that to dictate the size you take. If the stock isn't crazy volatile, getting in early with size, that way we don't size up too aggressively too late. The Razer Tartarus one-hand keyboard for hotkeys. Trap Trader, I've heard a few people mentioning that, but I think what I have right now works well. So I've never really looked into it, but I've heard a few people mention it, so I'm guessing it's pretty good. Let's see. What is the most important / final change you made that made you turn the corner and become profitable? From L. I don't know if there was one particular thing, but I would say a collection of things, which will include reviewing at the end of the day. Simple things like I'm doing now. Reviewing at the end of the day and not know, like, if you have time. I know everyone is kind of different. Some of you guys have families and, different things going on, different businesses as well. But, if you can put in a little 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, two, to really come back and look back at some of these chartings, look back at some of these entries, it can really help. So doing that, screen recording, like if I want right now, I can go back over the last like 2-3 years and watch back any video from any day and see what I was looking at, what I was doing. That's pretty big. That stuff is crazy. You have data. So record your screen, study as much as you can, going over the chartings, going over your live trading, and always look forward to managing risk. No matter the style that you trade, have pride in managing risk, and if you can put safety nets in place to prevent yourself from going to certain points of no return, then that's what you want to do, right? Not to make that sound drastic, but points of no return in terms of like, okay, hey, I tend to have this bad habit where I, maybe let's say average down or something. So maybe you put something in place where it prevents you from averaging down, or so small things that can deter, right? That's the word, that can deter you from doing something that's counteractive towards your trading, right? So that's the advice I would give for that. Ay, 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 ay. You guys are funny here in the Discord, man. Let's see. Cash accounts. Max, take it easy. Stay safe, stay green. If you are a new viewer, consider subscribing to the channel, right? Hit that thumbs up button, turn on the notifications. I'll be live day trading tomorrow from about 8:50 a.m. Maybe till 11:30, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So check me out. Check out the YouTube channel, right? Check out the YouTube channel. No tricks, no gimmicks here at Relentless Trading. Everything is free as well. I could easily charge for stuff, but that's not what I want to do. So check out the channel. Right now you guys are seeing live Q&A there. Check out all these beautiful videos, recaps going over the trades I took. There's the live streams, right? Live day trading every day. every single day. There's even a vacation vlog. You guys can check that out, right? Day in the life of a relentless trader. Check that stuff out. These classes, you know, this channel isn't necessarily centered around beginner traders. If you guys, you know, we don't really put out a lot of beginner trader content, right? So I've had these classes come out a while ago. I've never did the third, fourth. It was supposed to be like 6 of them, free, just showing people how to get started, what to look for, what to look at. But yeah, you know, you guys can check it all out. There's a stock related playlist going over different topics. Um, yeah, man. So it looks like this video is put into the wrong playlist. But anyhow, yeah, check out the channel. Check out the channel. Subscribe. Yeah, you know, I am the most transparent trader on YouTube. The most transparent. I feel like I haven't really answered that many questions today. Would you rather have a 5-to-1 profit loss ratio with a 30% accuracy, or a 1-to-1 ratio with a 90% accuracy, and ending up with the same amount of money? You know, like right now I already have like a 1-to-1 ratio, so I can't. I mean, you give me a 90% accuracy, the confidence that would give me. I mean, my goodness. Right now we already have like a 1-to-1 ratio, right? We're doing 51 on our winning trades to 43 on our losing trades. It's kind of crazy when you look at these numbers. You kind of ask yourself, how is this guy even green? You know, how you know, I look at just, if I'm to only see this, and this without any other stat here, how am I even green? You know, how am I really green? You kind of look at it, right? My accuracy is only 50%, right? So imagine this is 90%. Oh man. 9 to 1 trades, 9 winning trades to every 1 losing trade. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I think I'd take the accuracy aspect of it. I mean, the profit loss ratio, but you're only, you know, you're winning 3 trades out of every 5, um, or out of every 10 rather. I mean, that sucks. I feel like that sucks. It's like your majority of trades are losing trades, you know? I want majority of my trades to be winning trades. So there's different ways to look at metrics though, you know. This is just one way. Um, when you do go to win versus losses by days, you know, it's a different way of looking at it. Okay, 12 green days to 3 red days. And, you know, on our 12 green days, we did 11K. On our 3 red days, we've lost 1,400. And, you know, that $1,000 red day kind of caught us by surprise. It really shouldn't have happened. Not to get into that too much, but, you know, it's, I think it's only because Bed Bath and Beyond was moving. You know, it's like, I didn't give that stock the benefit of the doubt, and I think what I need to do moving forward is to just trade the most obvious stock. It's not hard to realize what is obvious. You know, just like Friday. The reason I think I didn't do good on Friday is because I didn't give GCT. Is it GCT? Is it? Yeah. I didn't give this stock a chance. Was it this one? $60? Yeah. I didn't give this thing a chance. Right? This one, when nothing was moving, was halted up right here, and it was the most obvious one at that point. Hey, there's a stock that just did a red to green that's halted up. When do I ever not look at a stock that does a red to green and gets halted up? So I'm like, man, it's kind of pricey at $30. I missed the 1 minute candle to make the new high. I missed high of day. It might already be too extended. You know, we're already past the pre-market highs or just at it, you know, right above it. So I kind of did myself a disservice. The first halt and the second halt is usually safe to trade. I didn't look at either or. You know, the third halt is like, okay, it's too extended now. So when I had the $1,000 red days, because BBBY was taking up attention, but I still thought a small cap stock was going to move. And that was the mistake. That alone is the mistake on that day. Because if I'm watching BBBY on that day, which is like last Thursday. What's the date for this? calendar. Let's see. The 11th, right? I don't really have to click on that, but the 11th, right? If we go back to the 11th, watch how the day is going to start right here, right? 12th. So here we go. Did that zoom in properly? Yes, it did. We got to come across a little bit though. Let's see. Is this it? 11. Well. Hold on. Jeez. Oh man. No. The 16th. Okay. Here we go. Wrong red day. I kind of laughed because I'm like, wait. This is not what I saw, right? I know what the 11 looks like. So yeah, right. The 16th. I know what the 16th looked like, rather, right? Here we go, the 16th. So, this thing started off, all right? How many times, especially back then, right? You know, going back to last week, early this week, going back to last week, which setup have I been trading the most and been very green on in the first 3 minutes? First 1 minute candle to make a new high. You guys can check that in all the live streams and recaps. The first 1 minute candle to make a new high. So it's like if I'm watching this for scalps, and I decided, okay, you know what? Bed Bath & Beyond is the obvious stock. Let me watch this stock to start the day, right? Let's pull up a horizontal trend line. Pre-market highs are at 1590. You guys know I usually map out all my levels. So it breaks over initially to 16. It comes down. And like last week, we had that trade, I think, on Friday last week, where we started off green 300. There's a bottoming wick. There's the first 1 minute candle to make a new high. Before this candle here opens and this wick is starting, we can probably start watching this for trades, man, But let's see. So it opened up high. It opened up right here. Drops down. Bottom wicks, that's exactly how it moved. Opened up high, right? Drops down here to lows and starts to get bought up. Watch the volume profile, 1.4 to 600,000. Our green volume is engulfing our red volume, which means buyers are still in control, right? Our volume profile here. So as soon as this candle here closes, this one opens, that alone is enough to take this 1 minute candle to make the new high before it even gets back to 1585. Just off of the strength of this bottoming wick and the volume profile is enough to buy this at the very low, which is 1557 at the $0.50, and give it a chance to open up. And that's how the day becomes a very different day, because then I don't get caught in those big losers on that stock that flushed down because I'm in the right place. And that stock that gave that move wasn't terrible. I just, it was too extended by the time I came. So, being in the right place, man, being in the right place makes a difference. The obvious stock, after that other stock sold off, this thing, is so obvious to the point that it just is going into $30. That's how obvious this was, But this one was in play for a few days though, so of course no one knew it would have went that high, but very extended response there once again. Yeah, sometimes they'll have easy to borrow, hard to borrow, and Thinkorswim. It's usually on the active trader window. Markets are closed. It's usually on this tab here for me, somewhere in here. It'll say HTB, hard to borrow. I think NTB, right, which is also not available to borrow, and then ETB, which is easy to borrow. If you are on the hard to borrow list at Thinkorswim, some stocks might still say HTB, and you might be able to still get shares available. But I do think there's like a small fee that they'll charge in that particular situation. Yeah, there's a bit of a fee that's tied to it. Vitali's in the building. Going short for 1 week to see how it goes. You see, another thing with trading that I wanted to talk about this, and I'll probably do a full video. When you have something that's working, I would recommend sticking to it. But over time, you just keep trying to evolve it, right? Like kind of like what I'm doing. Okay, there's something. I'm not the best trader by any means, but okay, this guy is on to something. He's seeing these. Maybe he's up 200 today, 400 tomorrow. Still decent money, and so okay, how can you continue to refine this thing? And some people, they have that natural aptitude, they can adapt quicker. So for some of you, the evolution in your niche might be faster than it is for me, right? So I'd always encourage everyone, if you're seeing something working, you can stick to it and then try to build off of that, and implement changes for the better, right? If you do implement a change and it doesn't go your way, okay, fine. But then you just you get back to what you're doing, your basics. You try the other change. You keep trying the change until it works, because it only have to work once, and once it works, you can get to that next evolution in that strategy. But if you are using a strategy and you're having a really hard time, I think at that point, you can of course consider trying a different style or approach, whether it is long or short or high or low. Steve, the barbecue was a success, man. The barbecue was a success. Good food, good vibes, karaoke. Although I didn't sing this time. The last time I did sing, um, I sung "Time in a Bottle." What's this guy's name? Jim Jim Cross. His name is kind of like one of those crazy. Let's see. I also did "I Will Survive." Before this one was in New York. Man, I had that place on fire, man. I turned I man, when I get ready to do these things, man, I tend to leave a good impression. Karaoke. Going long is cheaper. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Going short, you'll have to pay for the locates. 777, man. You should check out our Discord. You might like it. Might. Not everyone usually likes it, because sometimes people don't really want to be chatting as much if they're trading. It all depends, but you can definitely check it out. Crescent Moon. Philosophical questions, I see. Um, no, it depends. If it depends, if I know beforehand that I'll make $1 million regardless of the outcome, um, like it's like if I had a genie that comes and says, "Hey, man, you can make $1 million in January 1st in one day, or make 4K every day until the end of the year." There's two ways to looking at it. One is that if I make 1 million on January 1st, there's so much more other things, because opportunity costs always. The time that I'm spending trading is time that I'm not spending doing something else. So in terms of opportunity cost, I would choose the million in one day and have that be the first of the year. That way I can like do other stuff, and try to make more things happen. But on the other side of the coin is, do you love trading, and is it something you want to be doing at least for an hour every day, no matter what? Because then you can do it 1 hour every day and still have the rest of your day for the most part, um, and still be able to do other stuff. I mean, it depends. It's a little tricky, but if it's just straightforward opportunity cost, then 1st of January, give me that 1 million, and I'll try and make things happen with that 1 million. Because at the end of the day, cash is king, and it's better to have it in that lump sum. It's like if I win the lottery today, give me all my money tomorrow. Give me my money today. I don't need to be paid out 10,000 for the rest of my life. I feel like I can manage money. So, do I believe in Jesus Christ? Yes, I do. Do I ever use math to map out support and resistance levels, Sergio? Not really. Trading is not trading is more so of an art than a science, and it's like, we kind of look at zones more so than exact numbers. But for me, when I put out a zone, like if I do use an exact number, it's like at the bottom of the zone, where it's like, okay, I think the range is such and such, and I don't think it should pull back below this level. And if it does, then I think I need to be out of the trade. So, in a situation where I would use some sort of math, is if maybe I want to see on average, okay, when this stock does give a big move, because some stocks will do this, and not all of them, only a few, but hey, whenever I give a big move, how big are my green candles on average? It's never the exact same number, once again. But, let's say all the breakouts have been like 10, 20 cents. Then, when we get that next leg, more than likely you'll probably see 10, 20 cents. I'd probably adjust off of that. But that is more of a rarity. It doesn't really happen a lot. So, once again, uh, you got to be careful with that, right? With the exact science, the exact mathematics. Where the math is good is when you're looking at your data, right? Because your data isn't going to lie. What is one setup that works for you but isn't working this month? How do you adapt? Do you find new setups? What I like to say is that the trend is your friend, and being able to recognize what's working and what's not, right? And for example, we mentioned the first 1 minute candle to make a new high has been working, right? Sideways chop, red to green. That has been working, right? What hasn't been working is the second leg of the move, right after the first pullback, let's say, of the first 2, 3 1 minute candles. Usually it's a much longer, drawn out consolidation before the second leg, or maybe it even dips, breaks the flag, and then curls back up. So sometimes it's different things, like some days, or more so weeks, right? Maybe the bull flag might be working out. Some other days it's the ABCD. Some other days it's the cup and handle. Sometimes we're seeing IPOs. Sometimes we're seeing Chinese stocks. Sometimes we're seeing halts working well, then halts are not working well. Like, wherever you're seeing the consistency, that's where you want to be most aggressive. So if you are seeing halts just resuming higher, I'm not saying to, of course, buy into halts because that's risky, but maybe positioning yourself to where you don't sell all of your shares. Maybe you are holding a quarter size into the halt from a good average cost, right? That way the halt maybe resumes higher, right? And so those are things to keep in mind. Wherever the trend is, that's where I want to be. Let's see. Yeah, so trading, yeah, that's a good point there. Trading, it's a lot of cycles, and so if your setups aren't coming, sizing down or stopping, or stop trading is good advice. That's great advice, And then once it is working again, that's where you want to be aggressive, because it's all about account preservation. You don't want to give back everything and have to go red, especially, or dig yourself out of the hole. So, and a good example of this will be me at the beginning of this year. Right at the beginning of the year, I made no money for the first 2 months, and it's coming off a strong Q4. If we go back to October of last year, right, hold on, 2020. Jeez, I'm clicking on everything here. 2021, December 31st. Right, so Q4 of last year, we're doing 14K, right? Not bad. Then all of a sudden, right, so from 220 a day, coming into January of the new year, January to February, we literally don't make any money. In fact, we're red. So, but you would think, okay, he's green 14K when things are going good. He probably should be red like 5 to 7K when things are not going good. But no, that doesn't have to be the case. You don't have to be that red. Even with your accuracy, there's definitely a mosquito in this room, man. It must have got me. So even with your accuracy being on the lower side because what you're doing is not working, your share size is down. I'm using 7,000 shares from about what was that, 30,000 shares that we're using from October 1st per day, right? So you have the choice. Like, we don't have to lose money. It's what I tell people. We don't have to lose. We really don't. So we can, when things are not going good, or if we're a beginner trader now looking to learn, we can learn using small size. That way our tuition is not as high. When things are not going good, we don't have to give back as much. So from 22,000 shares per day, we dropped down to 7,000 shares per day. And at that point, it was just a matter of, hey, let's figure out what we're doing wrong and what we can improve on. And for me, that was my hold time. I was holding a little too long. You can see my average winning trades I'm holding for half a minute, and my average losing trades. Is this right? Hold on. Let me clear this out and look at that again. So yeah, my average. Well, let's clear that out and look at it again. October 1st to December 31st. Yeah, we're holding for about a half a minute, and so on our losing trades, we're holding rather for about 2 minutes, right? So we're holding too long, and so although this was giving me decent gains, right, throughout those months, it just into the new year, it just was not working at all, and so it's like, okay, we gotta figure this out, and so February 22nd is where we started to be in and out and getting back to more so scalps, because I was holding much longer, 30-40 seconds in our trades. And so if I look at where we are now here in August, our metrics have definitely changed. And so those were hotter markets back then. Those were hotter markets, but now we're doing slightly better after we made that adjustment, right? In fact, we're at 337 since making that adjustment, right? We've been pushing more size, taking more trades. So you want to keep trying different things, because, okay, what you try might not work right away, but it only takes one thing to work, and then you start to improve, right? And so that's the name of the game. If going live and being a trading YouTuber costs you 20% of your gains every day, these are some good questions. Man, oh man, oh man, these are some good questions. Would you still go live? Trading comes first. I mean, trading comes first. Maybe I could post recaps every day instead of going live, and just post a recap when I'm done trading. Trading does come first. YouTube can be pretty powerful. I mean, like right now I get paid decent from YouTube. Like, it's not nothing, right? That's what I'll always say. It's a couple $100 every month, and like if you guys want to, like, you guys can do the math, right? Like, this stuff is available publicly. Like, so I'll tell you guys. I have a video out on this actually. So if you go to Social Blade and you type in Relentless Trader, you can see how much money I'm making on YouTube, right? So you can go on Social Blade, type in Relentless Trader. It'll show you my total views and my views per every 30 days. So in the last 30 days, it's saying I've done about 87,000 views, right? So let's pull up our calculator, right? Let's see, 87,000, right? Divided by 1,000, right? Because you get paid per every 1,000 viewer, right? It's 87. Now, this number here, this is where it's tricky, because you can get to this number, but the next part of it is where it's a little uncertain. Now, how much am I getting paid, right, per every 1,000 viewer, right? That's where it's a little hard, because there's something called an RPM, right? Revenue per mile, and so it's like that varies depending on the different fields, like sectors. Let's say from like day trading is kind of like classified as like finance and business, like online businesses. So there's that. There's like vlogging. There's like, well, not really. Let's not say vlogging. There's gaming. There's fitness, cooking. So there's like all these different sectors slash categories, and they all get paid a different amount depending on what's going on at specific points in time. And so how much each YouTuber gets paid is slightly different. Also, audio retention matters. Subscribers has nothing to do with it. It's about views, but usually subscribers will bring you views because they'll see your video in their feed, but usually it's just the views. So right now mine is at like $9, right? Some people, if their retention is higher or their sector might be better, maybe they're getting paid 15. So 87 times 9, right? This is about the amount that I'm making every month, right, from YouTube. So that's how you can calculate. So let's check Ross's, right? Let's check Warrior Trading. Ross just monetized his YouTube channel. I know I'm getting a little off track here. Let's check Ross's. All right, hold on, man. My nose is getting a little too stuffy. I probably should have already took care of this. Okay, I'll be back in a quick sec. Yeah, let's see how much Ross is doing on his YouTube channel. But if my YouTube is costing me that much of my trading, then I'll have to stop doing it, of course. So it's saying Ross did 1.3 million views in the last 30 days. So 1 million, he's making big money. He's got a big channel. 1.3 divided by 1,000, so you slide the decimal place over, 1,300. And if let's say Ross has higher retention rate than I do, which I'm pretty sure he does. So, like, if someone is watching a 10-minute video, are they clicking off in the first minute, the first 5 minutes, the first 9 minutes? Like, all of that matters. So, let's say Ross is doing $15 instead of like 9 where I'm at, or let's even say 16. So 1,300 times 16. So it's about $20,000 on the month from YouTube. If all of his videos are monetized, everything. So it's a pretty penny, right? But it's a lot of grinding. You got to put out good content, stuff like that. But this type of money you can make, and this is just AdSense. This is not sponsorships and brands, merch, every other thing else, affiliate links. There's much more other things that goes into it. In fact, like there's like I can't say too much of everything, of course, but like the sponsorship that I have with Momo, there's a few of you guys that are using Momo, right? And the amount that I make from Momo is pretty decent, like from compared to what YouTube pays me. So it's like if you have sponsorships, it could potentially like double, triple, quadruple. We know some YouTubers who they're holding a bottle of water, and it's $10,000 every time they do that. But yeah, not to get too off topic, but Ross doing his thing as usual. And views adding up. Thinkorswim scanners, yeah, they work just as well. Darnell, man, 10,000 subscribers for the merch. Some words I can't say properly with this accent. 10,000 subscribers and the Relentless merch will be here. We're 74% of the way. 74%. So guys, subscribe to the channel. I this Q&A, I felt like I was doing a lot of ranting, so maybe it probably shouldn't have been titled Q&A. I kind of came on, I was just talking some study stuff. It's far away. We're close, man. We're close. Yeah, Hamster, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's something, right? It's good. It's good money. If you're paying a mortgage or rent, or if you just want to save it or invest it, it's good money to have. It's something. right? And it can be used. The subs depend on like like whenever like I'll be transparent with you guys. Whenever I put out videos that are like people love like this like the stock related content, for example, like these type of videos like this. Um, I gotta remove this one from here, put it into the recaps. But these type of videos, is day trading gambling, hidden fees, like all these, like look at this one here, right? 5 streams of it, a lot of general people like the general stuff. And so right, man, right? It's YouTube though. YouTube sometimes YouTube, man. It's tiring at times. Like it's not hard because it's like you're just sitting down and talking. In that sense, it's not hard. Like I could be on top of a building, on the side of a building, cleaning a window. When we talk about labor intensive jobs, I mean, there's some stuff out there you could be doing. You could be building, and some people love. Not to saying that people don't love doing these things. Some people love the adventure. Like building roads, and maybe it's hot outside in the summertime or cold in the wintertime. I used to watch on Discovery. There used to be a show called Dirty Jobs, right? And that was pretty interesting. Working in the sewers. I mean, there's some crazy jobs, and so we look at it. It's not hard, but mentally sometimes it's draining. Like this yesterday. There's this family barbecue. I wanted to do a video yesterday, and it's like, I'm helping out with stuff, and so there's family over. Today the reason why I'm doing this Q&A is because the kids are not here. The kids are gone. Like, I mean, it's one of those things where it's living with your parents. You're saving money, but you gotta also know that there'll be days where you just can't do what you want to do because of whatever reason, and that's fine. But you get burned out, man, and it's no joke. I mean, look at this. 1 month ago, like, come on, 2 months, 3 months. This is absolute madness. It should be 4 of them every week, or let's say every month, the minimum. You know, is day trading gambling. So yeah, guys, check out the video. And right, if you want to see the insight to how much money I was making, this is the video right here. Right, this is why I say I'm the most transparent YouTuber, because of these type of videos. Nobody's doing these stuff, man. Uh, a lot of people are kind of protective towards their income, but this is my field. My field is showing people what I do, and so I feel nothing when I tell people how much money I'm making or how much money I'm down if they ask. I wouldn't tell you, but if you ask me, then I'll tell you. Um, so yeah, I think this might be a good place. I'm sorry for not getting all the questions in. I've been ranting. I've been looking at Ross's channel, my channel, AdSense, all sorts of madness. Are you afraid to die? I'm afraid to die young. I'm not afraid to die, but like, imagine dying now. That would suck. That would suck a lot, because life is great. Life is enjoyable, and no matter where we are, we could be struggling right now. We could be at the bottom of the valley, and maybe we fell off from a higher place. Maybe we lost our job. It could be a relationship, maybe a loss and a death in the family. All those crazy things that happens. But this life is worth living, man. And I watch a lot of travel vlogs, and just there's so many cool things to do. We are in a capitalistic society, so a lot of those things will require cash, money. And so that's why we're grinding right now, and we're enjoying the process. Day trading for me is fun. I love doing it. So grinding, and being able to know that I'm building towards betterment, it's a great journey. So I would hate to tomorrow just not be. I mean, it's so cool to be able to do this stuff, man. So to just tomorrow just have no conscience anymore. I do believe, which we had that question earlier. So I guess it wouldn't be all bad because you'll be in heaven, but life is still pretty fun. I'd prefer to live out. I always would tell myself I would die at the age of 99. Hopefully, I can reach to that goal. Um, so right now I'm going to continue to be active, continue to be healthy, and one thing I have to do, I have to go get a checkup. It's been a long time. It's been a while, so I got to go get a checkup. Make sure we're all good. Check out everything, a full checkup. Yeah, let's see. So, yeah, LMD, man. I have been looking into it more so than ever before. Have I been looking into long term investments? Is the question. And I think it was Crescent Moon who mentioned putting away $500 every month, at least. Into the overall markets, or ETFs, and there's different ways to, of course, to invest, as we know, but I've been having this issue where I feel like the money that I'm making now, like I need it for other things. Like I know I want to put money into another broker, for example, soon. So it's like, you know, that takes a lot of cash. Like one thing I wanted to do at the end of this year was to contribute 6,000 to an IRA account, um, but I actually spoke to I think I mentioned early in this video I was talking to Trading Farmer, and he was actually telling me that you have to have a W-2 to be able to contribute. So I did not know that. So and I need to I want I not even want I need to contribute this year starting. So I might have to get a part-time job, which I've talked about before. I might have to get a part-time job just for that, to be honest, because I want to make that contribution of 6,000. So needing money for certain things, and it's like, okay, the cash that I'm seeing now, it's why I need to be better. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's why I need to be better because if I'm doing 1K a day, let's say on average every single day, almost, then the cash flow from this field will be so much that I can do a lot more of the other things that I want to do, which is putting money into the overall, getting into a good surplus. That way, it's like, man, you know what? Like I wanted to buy Tesla, for example, right? I watched this guy. His name is Richard, right? And I've been watching him for some time. Oh, wrong stock. Yeah, so I've been watching him for some time. You always have to make your own decisions, of course. Um, you have to make your own decisions. You have to do your own research, and I did. I'm a trader myself. I understand technical charting, and we look at what Tesla is. We look at what a lot of these bigger companies are on the markets, and do we believe in them, right? Do we like their products, their service, and you can get very fundamental, technical, if you want to say, with it, and you can look through statements. I used to study accounting before I left school, university. Like if I want to, like I still have that knowledge. Like if I want to, I can still look at their balance sheets. These things, like if depending on who you are, and what you want to look at. I mean, some people will look at all the filings and all these different things, but all that information is there and available. And so, I was listening in, and I'm like, you know what, man? The call out was for below 700, and this is when we're like 860 over here. Yeah, like right in the beginning of May. It's like, man, if this drops below 700, it's gonna be prime time, and one of the things that I've been trying to not do is to take the chance without having excess cash. Let's say risk money, because that's the rule of investing. Like if I am to put money into especially if I'm looking at one single company and if I was gonna put money in, I was gonna put like 10 grand, right? I didn't want to put anything too excessive, but at the same time I didn't want to go too small to not be able to see a decent return, right? Because when I think about it, it's like if you put $5,000 in and you make 20%, it's not really like, it's not really anything meaningful. So, like, okay, I said that, I was gonna put $10,000 worth, but one of the rules that I have for myself is to not deviate. Okay, this looked great, but it's like I still have a plan. And what happens if I do put that 10 grand and maybe there is some bad news and we do happen to drop to like 500 and maybe it consolidates at 500 for the next 6 months before really rallying? And let's say I'm watching this more so for like a shorter term swing, for let's say like a 2 month swing or something like that, and I'm stuck in this position now for a year. Then the cash is tied up. I want to do this other stuff with it. So for those reasons, it's why I haven't been really investing in the overall market yet. But as soon as I start to make some meaningful gains, the gains I'm making now is great. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but once I can start seeing some proper green days, can we get some $3, $4, $5,000 days? We see and that it doesn't take a lot of those days. If we're doing $800, consistently for weeks and months on end, like for example, if we keep pace with what we're doing now, I mean, this wouldn't be half bad, right? Where's that trader view? If we keep pace with what we're doing now, this month here in August, we're not going to be looking too bad. Our averages have dropped down a little bit, okay, but 660 per day, right? If we do 660 per day, right, 660 times the next, 60 trading days, let's say, right? I'm looking to keep getting better, but let's say we do 660 for the next 60 trading days, right? 600 times 60, right? It's not bad. You add another 36K. I mean, it doesn't sound bad, but I don't know, man. I have some big goals in my head, some big dreams. We'll see what we can do, though. Only time will tell. And trading is such a performance-based sport that, once I get the next step to really click, I thought I was turning corner number 3. I feel like I'm there, but I haven't turned it yet. I think corner number 2 is secure. I think I can confidently say that as long as there's momentum, like if we go to last year, as long as there's momentum, I don't ever think I'll have another month below like 4K again, as long as there's momentum. If there's no momentum, it's different. But if there is momentum, like some of these months last year were like 1.5K. Like look at this month right here, for example. Okay, Friday's good. We had okay, 2K. Okay, this month might have been a little bit more decent. So we had a couple $1,000 days, 1, 2, 3. So that's about 4K on those days. But there's months where it was really slow. Like let's see, April. Some of these months we didn't really see any big. Like there's no plus 1K day here. 900 was the best. But as long as there's momentum, because the difference between last year and let's go to win loss versus days. Let's go to compare. Let's compare this year and last year, right? Mind you, don't forget this year I started off not making money for the first 2 months. So this year really and truly started for me in March, So let's see here. Hold on. Are we clear on the filter? Last year versus this year, generate report. Okay, there we go. So the main thing is the volume. In a hot market last year, I'm using 300 share blocks, maybe 500 share blocks. We'd occasionally go up to 1,000 share blocks, and 1,500 share blocks are a little bit more rare. Now, we're using on some trades 6,000 shares, 5,000 shares. So it's like with the volume that we're pushing now, it's so unlikely if there is momentum that we don't have good green days. You know, that's how I'm feeling. And so once I can finally connect on this next step in the evolution, you know, we'll be able to see more gains, which will mean more investments in and out of the market, because we want a lot of hard assets too. We don't want just, you know, I am a trader by default, so more than likely I'll probably have more money in the markets than the average person. Um, and I'm not just talking about buying power from my actual account, but, you know, investing in the overall market, because some people might want to put some more money into, you know, other projects and businesses, definitely real estate, of course. But one thing I've been thinking about recently is buying a box truck, right? But if I'm to ever buy a box truck, you know, I've been talking to one of my guys, and I'd have to confirm the work. Like, I'll have to confirm the work, confirm the work, because some box trucks, you know, like gross, some box trucks, if you're getting good load, they're doing about 6-7 thousand gross. Now, after insurance, gas, and um, you know, the driver, right? That probably gets cut down to like you know, 2,500 to 3K per week, which is still pretty decent, right? Extra $2,500 per week on top of what I'm doing now will be great, you know. And so I definitely can get dry. I mean, I already know a few people, but there's other things. You know, there's other things. I don't know if a lot of you guys might not know this. I've promised to do this, and I never did. I've always promised to show you guys events from what I've had from events that I did in the past. LMD, I don't know if you know this, man, but I used to do some wicked events in Brooklyn, New York. Uh, you know, let's see how many things I can list from this. Um, let's see, promoting, marketing, advertising, uh, sales, you know, catering, um, planning, decorating. I mean, so many different things came from that field. So we would do, you know, it was a group of us, right? Um, we would do Caribbean styled dances, and you know, I'm not sure if you guys, some of you guys, I don't know, some of you guys might know, but you know, soca and calypso and like reggae events, and you know, we'd get about 300 people or more on average. You know, so you get a nice venue, you know, a really nice place, and so you know, there was it was a really a nice experience. Hard work, you know, like everything else, everything is hard work. But I've always promised to show that stuff, and I have recaps. You know, maybe I pull one up now, and maybe that's how we end this video. I know I've posted one in the Discord before. Copyrights. That's something to think about. Copyrights. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. I wonder. Let me see something. I can pull them from. I mean, I have some saved. I'm pretty sure I have some saved on this computer. There's full on recaps of. So for every event we used to do, there would be video and photos, right? So photographers and you know, so it was well done, man. So after every event, because you know marketing was pretty big, we needed to show people, right? Create a sense of FOMO. Hey, this is what you're missing, right? But anyhow, it's not to get too dialed into that, but you know, to answer the question about long-term investing, you guys will see. Sometimes I go for an hour on just one question. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. At this rate, I cannot do all the questions. You know, Steve has been telling me over and over, RT, 1 minute per question, 1 minute per question. But I go overboard. I don't know. Relentless question. Do I think day trading can be a full or long term thing for anyone? Or is it for specific individuals? You know, so you definitely have to have I think the phrase is I think the phrase rather is to be risk advert, right? So you're not afraid to take on risk. If you're someone who don't mind a little bit of risk, you can, I would say look into it, right? Because there is a way to do it without losing money. You can trade in a simulator or very small size, and you have to just be disciplined towards that. If you're trading with a live account and you decided, hey, I'm just gonna use 5 shares, you cannot ever have a day where you go up to 500 shares or 5,000 shares. That is catastrophic, and that's the click of a button. The click of a button is that difference. Because if you go to 5,000 shares from 5 shares because you think something looks good and it does not work, that's where the emotion starts to get you, you know? So if you are doing it, there's a right way. If you're very disciplined, you can do it. And you can do it, and I mentioned Mighty a lot, Mighty here in our Discord, because, that's someone who we saw do it, right? This guy is literally using 10 shares. And it's so mental, right? 10 shares every time he's trading, but in the back of his mind, he's adding on that extra zero, right? Right, just like basic multiplication and division, right? When we're dividing or multiplying by tens, we can take off the zero or add it on. And so with 10 shares, that's what he was doing, adding on a few zeros, and it's like, okay, today I'm up $1.07. Okay, this would have been a $170 gain with these same exact trades and these same exact entries and exits. He did that for 2-3 months to prove his concept, right? After being in the sim for about 2 years, a year and a half, whatever it was, I think a year and a half. For 3 months, he's using small size in his live account to just use 10 shares every day, seeing green for 3 months. How many people have the discipline to use 10 shares for 3 months? Some people on day number 3, they go up to 1,000. They have that big red trade in week 1, week 2, week 3. So we are our greatest strengths and our greatest weaknesses. And so if you are a disciplined person and you're competitive, you're intelligent, right? I think we're all intelligent. No one would like to think that they're not, right? And you have that winning mindset. You can do it at a very, very cheap rate. In fact, I mean, if you look at a platform like DAS, like what is the barriers to entry for someone who's new, right? What is Thinkorswim's minimum requirement right now? Probably like 1K, right? So the startup, let's say you're looking at a startup for a business, like how much is it going to be the expense to start up this business? 1K to open up a TD Ameritrade account. Mind you, that 1K is just sitting there. So it's not that you're necessarily using it, right? It's just sitting. You might as well look at it as it being in a bank account, because that's kind of what brokers are in some sense. It's like a bank account in some ways. So you have 1K sitting there, right? This is the cost of business, the operational expense. And maybe you're using a platform like DAS for a simulator, because the Thinkorswim simulator nowadays is laggy. I think it's like 5 seconds behind or something. So you're paying $150 a month for DAS. $150 a month might sound expensive, and maybe it is. It might be expensive depending on your situation, what you're doing, and some of you guys are taking care of a full family and these type of things. But I mean, you compare it to, it's like it's all relative, right? Perspective. Some people are starting up businesses that are like $500,000. Need to find $500,000. We look at Shark Tank and, hey, I'm giving you 10%, and I need 100K. So $150 a month is expensive, but not expensive in this type of realm of a business. So even if it means cutting back on something else, canceling subscriptions to other things, maybe you cancel Prime. if you're not, maybe you're not ordering as many packages for that month or 2 or 3 or 4. Prime is what, $120 a month? Prime and Netflix has to go. Get rid of Prime and Netflix. No more packages from Amazon. We're doing everything locally as cheap as we can. And there's that $150 right there. Boom. So and from there you can start learning at a very low rate, at a very, very low rate, because once you master the skill, and when we talk about borrowing money for businesses, there's risks in every field you go to. There's no sector out there where there's zero risk. So if you master this field, and it's why we'll see guys like Ross do it. Ross said, hey, if I go to $0 tomorrow, even if I have to go hustle, right? If I have to go hustle and maybe sell some water at a highway intersection, which is something I did, by the way. Maybe I tell that story one day when I was younger, right, in my teens. Even if you have to hustle to get to $500, to add to a small account, right? Because when we look at this, when we look at the intellectual property, in a sense, behind a profitable strategy, if you go to zero tomorrow, what will you need to go from zero to hero? A laptop, internet, $500 for an account challenge. Or at that point, it's not even a challenge, it's just to fund your account because you already know what you're doing. And so that's why we would see people like Ross who have mastery be able to go from 500 to whatever. But if you don't have mastery, you can't do that type of stuff. I mean, for me, that's kind of stiff. Unless Think or Swim goes to zero, to PDT, like removed, I would not be able to do a small account challenge with the way how I trade, because I'd have to go to a broker where there are fees and commissions, and with how I trade now, it's not going to be feasible, right? I'm aware of that. So I'm not yet at that level of mastery. So, the barriers to entry, on this field is not bad, right? Like at one point my girlfriend had asked me, like to show her trade, like to teach her about trading, and I was a little hesitant towards that because, you know, it's a type of field where, like, it has to be very hands on. I feel like when you're starting, and we're not living together, and I feel like that's where the issue would have been. But if if I feel like I can train people, right? I can show somebody what to do, but it'll be very intensive one-on-one. Like, you'll have to be standing behind me every day as I trade for months, and trading next to me. Like, I'll be watching you trade, like, to kind of teach you exactly. So it's all those reasons we talk about courses and all those things. That's I'm ranting again. Um, it's why I wouldn't want to do any of that type of stuff now. Like, I don't want to get into that now, man. That's a whole different ball game, because you guys will be able to see I'm a very what's the word I'm looking for here? Genuine person, right? I refuse to sell something that will not, like, give you a high chance to do this. Like, I refuse to do that, man. So, like, not willingness to sit there and really dissect my own mind and get people to see what I see and think how I think is the hard part, you know? So the barriers to entry, though, it can be done in a way where it's not too bad. It could be cheap, relatively speaking. You figure out how to trade, you might become a millionaire, right? It's not guaranteed, but it's possible. I'm at the 100K mark right now. Tomorrow, in fact, I'm so confident that I'll go ahead and say it now. Tomorrow will be over 100K. We were at 99K 2 days ago until we had that big $1,000 red day. And so now we're back at 99,524. Well, 549 rather. So, 450 tomorrow will do it. I think we'll do that. I think so. That won't be the goal, but, I'm confident that if we have momentum, that we'll have a good green day. How much will it be? I don't know, but if there's momentum, I feel good. I like my odds. We've made 319,000 going back to May 1st. So in about 2.5 years, we've made 300 grand. It's not bad. We lose a lot of money. I lose too much. I've only retained 30% of my gains. Such a problem. It's such a problem. Anyhow, I mean, I've been ranting here for so long. Let's see. It depends. Some, yeah, some traders like level 2, some don't. Some traders don't use it. If you're watching in the bigger picture on the charting, you might not need it, to be honest, is what I'm coming to realize. My brother should be in the Discord tomorrow if everything is going according to plan with him. So this is what's been going on with him, right? He's been out of the market. He's gotten hit with the PDT. Well, let's say margin call rather. So his account went below 25K, and he's been saving. He's had some stuff going on, but he's been saving, right? So he's been saving. He'll be back at the level soon. But until he's back in his live account, he'll be in the sim. I think he should be good to go by. I gotta call him. He should be good to go by tomorrow to be in the Discord with us. So I'll introduce him to the Discord. Like, you guys, he used to be like, every day. But sometimes your account goes below. You're saving up to get back. It's like a process, but he'll be in there, and I'll make sure that he's like, I'll make sure that he's like, I'll push him to be uncomfortable. Like, I want him to be in there speaking. I want him to be in there, and I don't mind it. I don't mind people knowing him as, hey, this is Relentless Trader's brother. So he'll be around. He'll be in there. If not tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, midweek, he should be in there. And if you guys have any questions for him, he'll probably only be trading the first hour though. So maybe he'll be in there like 10 minutes every day. I don't know, but yeah, you guys can feel free to ask him anything as well. And when the podcast starts, he'll be on the podcast. He will be in the hot seat. Steve, man, yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. You guys will have the floor. You guys can ask him anything. He used to be better than I was at trading in the simulation. It's interesting, man. It's like, it's like it could have. I mean, it's just that's how trading is, though. It's like if he, like, imagine if the tables were turned and he was green and I wasn't, But in the sim, I mean, to be honest, like if I had to choose, I would have chose him being green because he was doing much better. Like his gains were his gains. Like I think his average daily gain, like we were in the sim for like that year and a half. Like I think he was doing like, I think it was like 1200. I gotta and maybe I have him take over the channel and go through his trade review and those type of things. You guys will get a whole different look at these types, like his, like, yeah, and he'll still have that stuff. So he should still have all of that. Yeah. So maybe he comes on and like goes through his trade review. We can go through it together and like look at his profit loss ratio, all that stuff. See his biggest green day, his biggest red day, what he was trading, and I'm not gonna lie, back when he was doing some of these numbers, I always felt like, man, like geez, like this, it's just so crazy. Like it was hard for me to understand. He would have like 3K days, 5K days on some of his crazy days, even more. And those days I'm having like a $300 day, $100 day, and as I continue to grow as a trader and see more and more of the market, I think like once he comes back and he clicks, it's very possible that in his first 6 months he surpasses me. Like he's more aggressive, man. Like, since we were younger, he's always been that way. It's his personality to be aggressive. Like that's just who he is, So there is a right way to do it though. So as long as he does it the right way and be careful and be more patient and then size into his trades, once he does click, he'll be a force to be reckoned with. Like Steve, he'll be like Calamity. That's how he was in the sim. But as I grew as a trader and started, the Discord with YouTube and seeing other traders, I started to realize like, holy smokes, he should have been the one that clicked because we would have been rich. We would have been rich. You know, we're a team, and so I wouldn't have mind, and just the same way he wouldn't have mind sacrificing for me to be green. Even if it means lesser gains, like less gains. But I mean, there's a guy in our Discord named Calamity, and we'll see sometimes. Not everyone in the Discord is green. There's a few of us who are green traders, right? That will post at times. Some of the people are green. They don't post at all because they don't feel it that they want to. That's fine. But some days up 3K, 4K, 5K. Once again, it's a small percentage of people who are green, but especially that type of green. But these are things that are getting done. Marcelo sent me a guy on YouTube to watch. He was doing a live stream. The guy's up 45,000 on was that PGY, I think. And so these gains, it's nothing more than share size and the willingness to take on risks. I've talked about it many a times. If I 10x my size tomorrow, and we say slippage is not a big issue, my gains, if not, will triple, quadruple, go up by 5 times. If slippage is at 0%, my gains should 10x by tomorrow if I start adding a 0 at the end of my share size. That is it. That, like, just think about that, right? Just think about that. I can take this to $1,700 tomorrow by adding one more 0, and in fact my account on most stocks probably could handle that, right? Or actually, yeah, it could. My account on most stocks, if I add an extra 0 at the end of that active trader window, so instead of this saying 2,500, I put another 0 and it's at 25,000, and I can get the same exact fills. Tomorrow I'm a millionaire essentially moving forward. My green days are going to be bigger. My red days will be slightly bigger too. But overall, we will be a green trader because I'm already a green trader. So when there is liquidity and you have a willingness to take risk, there's no limit. Well, I guess the limit is liquidity, but you guys get what I mean. So it's a very exciting time. The future is bright. Mark my words. I've always said this, but mark my words again, that I will get to corner number 3. And I think corner number 3 will be, $700-800 plus days consistently. 1K days, $1,500 days, because I'll be better at holding longer. I'll be better at recognizing the pattern. I'll be better at taking size, and we will make it happen. We will make it happen. So mark my words, even if it takes a few more days, a few more weeks, however long it takes, I am coming like there's no tomorrow. I'll be there. I'll be there every day. There's gonna be no breaks. I want to be relentless with this. I want to keep all my rules in place. And to dominate is my only goal, to be great. Because every day we get a chance at being better. And for me, that's the definition of greatness. To improve, to challenge ourselves. And so tomorrow there'll be opportunities. It'll be up to me and me alone. There's 2 factors here, right? There's us and there's the market. Right now the market is in a good place. So I'd assume there'll be opportunities tomorrow. I got to do a good job at recognizing the obvious stock. Watch that gap and go. The first move, the first leg is usually into the open. Whether it's the first 1 minute candle to make a new high, whatever it might be, breaking the pre-market highs. I want to be aggressive there. Then I want to be patient and be aggressive again at the dips on the 1 minute pullbacks. Take the first 2 dips. If we don't see the first 2, Be careful, stay away. Are we seeing a 5 minute pullback, or is the stock selling off? Ask yourself that question. If we are seeing a 5 minute pullback and we're finding support somewhere like VWAP or some other key level, we could take it. We could try to be aggressive again. If not, we wait for the 5 minute pullback after the first two 1 minute dips. We want to be aggressive there. We want to sell into the highs, and then we want to stop trading, especially with size, until the second leg of the move starts, where we should see another incline, and that's where we probably get like 3 green candles of just up. That's where I want to be aggressive again and repeat the cycle. If it happens to be a slow day, I want to take it easy. We have control to not lose money. Take it easy. Look at a break-even day. Be content with a break-even day, and understand that opportunities will come, if not later at power hour, maybe the next day, you know. So that's the game plan for tomorrow. I know this Q&A, I haven't answered much questions, so we'll do another one soon. But I'm gonna head out here and let you guys go enjoy your Sunday. I've already had dinner today. I might go to the gym. I don't know, the gym. Well, the gym might be closing at 8 p.m. So I might go in the backyard a little bit, you know. But I've already had dinner. Some Caribbean style dinner, of course. If you guys want to know what I had, you can type in curry and roti, right? This is what I had for dinner, right? Let's see. This one looks pretty accurate, right? Let's drag this over here. This is what I had for dinner, guys, right? You know, it might not. Well, when we talk about this on a scale of like health, this is like a flour dough. It's probably not the healthiest, but it tastes pretty good. And this weekend was like a bit of a cheat weekend for me because of the barbecue that we had. Right, we had a family barbecue, so we'll be back on the grind tomorrow. And I do have this big jug of protein powder here that will be suiting me pretty good throughout this next upcoming week, because we're in the gym and it's time to get big. You know, we're looking to put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscles over the next year and a half, next 2 years. So it'll be a nice grind. You guys know we enjoy the process here at Relentless Trading. So with that being said, take it easy, stay safe, stay green, enjoy the rest of your weekend or the rest of the day, and know that tomorrow we're coming in here to dominate. Tomorrow we're coming in here to be our best selves. Tomorrow we're coming in here to walk away with a victory, with a W, with a win, you know. And if tomorrow happens to be a red day, it must be a successful red day. A day where I followed my rules, a day where I followed my game plan. I didn't overtrade or revenge trade and tried to come back and do something crazy. You know, like I checked out Marcelo's video from Friday, you know, after the stream, and you know, he mentioned at the end of the video that, you know, sometimes it's not good to be a hero if things are not really looking like it. You know, it's like if there's no signs, you know, it's been a slow day, you know, we don't have to force it, you know. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. So tomorrow, let's see, you know, let it be a natural day of progression, right? Let's do what we have to do. Let's do what we know how to do. Let's implement those changes. Let's be great, right? There's nothing stopping us from being great tomorrow, right? We can do this. We can, right? Who is going to stop me from taking all the setups where I need to take the setups? Who's going to stop me? No one. So tomorrow I know what I must do. It's in my mind more so now than ever. So I'm looking forward to the opportunities. Guys, it's been Relentless Trader. I am signing out. Take it easy, stay safe, stay green. Have a good one. Where's this thing? Let me get out of here, man. Take it easy, guys. 777, man. Check out the Discord. Arcane will see you. LMD, Steve. Take it easy, guys. Henster. It's been a good one. It's been a pleasure. I am, of course, signing out.